Hello and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Unfest 2013 League of Legends Tournament on Chaos TV with Guru Gaming once again alongside Hegemony? Hegemony something or other.
If you're American, it's hegemony, apparently.
It's not a name that rolls off the tongue, especially for English people.
No, although it is very much an English word. But regardless, yeah, your pulse, I'm Spuddington. Shocking things, and we have some bans.
We do indeed. Zach, Jarvan, Ari, Caston, and Vayne waiting on the last ban to come out from... I gotta call them Hedge, that's easy. Waiting for that last ban, 2 seconds left. What will it be? It'll be Vi. I think Vi has been banned on every game I've casted today.
I think I may have seen her available, maybe even picked once, but my memory is that of a goldfish. So regardless of that, the picks are coming in pretty quick and fast here, and it seems that everyone loves Ashe these days. We do have the Shen lock-in as well, and the Zyra though.
I do indeed. I've seen a lot of Ashe specifically from these Eastern Europeans, and I guess it's because they just really like their initiation compositions. They like the Shens, they like the Ashes and the Nocturnes, those big engaged compositions. Something I have seen that they don't really like sustained damage. It's like they want the engagement to be over instantly, and then in the team fight it kind of fizzles out, and then they all kind of like slap each other with auto attacks and don't have any damage because they've gone for hard engaged compositions with no follow-up. So that's something I've seen quite a lot from these guys.
Yeah, it's one of those things, but with the Corki pickup coming out of Guru, they are not going to want for sustained damage at any stage of the game. Although I suppose he is a little bit bursty. We'll see what they, kind of pull together, and you can't really judge a composition until you've got a full lineup on both sides. Although, as you mentioned, with a really hard engage, with really good follow-up, it is looking like Hegemony here have the stronger initiation at the moment.
Hegemony. At least that's how the dictionary just told me I'm supposed to pronounce it.
That's American.
You're American. Anyway, so Aatrox potentially being locked in. They are hovering over it. Again, one of those picks that we've seen time and time again today. Aatrox so good in the early game, good at diving those turrets. Kind of the same thing as you have with Zac, but Zac has been banned out this game. Lee Sin also coming out alongside Lissandra, and that Ashe and Zyra bot lane again. So looking towards the Orianna, which will be the final pickup from Guru Gaming.
Yeah, also seems to be a very popular Eastern European pick there. Does play pretty well against Lissandra in lane and is just generally very solid as a team fighter. Gonna be a Jace possibly up against Shen in that top lane. And now, I don't actually know the matchup between Shen and Jace, but I actually think it would go in the favor of Shen. Although at the moment they are swapping around, so maybe they're planning on Lissandra top and Xerath or Karthus mid.
Most matchups against Shen just kind of do nothing, because Shen makes the lane do nothing. He's kind of a miserable sod when it comes to that respectable thing, so he just kind of sits there and he farms, and if you try to harass him, he'll throw Vorpal Blades in your face, and then he'll faint, and that's it. That's your laning phase.
Yeah, he grinds you down, and you can't really win trades against him, but with that Lissandra lock-in, I'm actually a little bit surprised if she doesn't go for the teleport this time, but with that Lissandra lock-in, 1 versus 1 against Shen, she's going to be able to push him against his tower quite easily. Even if he gets really far ahead, he's not going to be able to stop her from wave clearing. Does mean that they will need to make something happen in, with their roaming capabilities, but they certainly have a lot of burst on that team.
Yeah, and we haven't even mentioned that they just locked in Xerath, and Xerath is not a pick I've seen in a very long time. It's very clutch, it's very unconventional, but it can definitely work. It's worth mentioning that Xerath has the highest AP combo in terms of damage than any other AP caster. In terms of scaling, I think it's like 3.6, I want to say. And that's a lot. If you don't know your caster AP scalings, that's a lot.
Yeah, by comparison, I think Orianna has significantly lower AP scaling. I think she's probably on the weaker side on that front, but regardless, again, is loading. And comparing Orianna and Xerath is a little bit unfair, given that Xerath's burst combo, yes, it is very strong, yes, it is AoE, but Orianna probably has slightly higher base damages and has a lot of crowd control built in.
Yeah, I'm just looking at Orianna, and it is 2.3. Not including Clockwork Wind-Up. So, yeah, that's a big discrepancy. And Xerath is also AoE alongside Orianna, but his damage, if he lands his ultimate on like 2-3 people, then he's just does so much damage. Something that is like a common misconception with Xerath is he's a poke champion, but he's very much a burst mage. And when he has his ultimate up, he's very reliant on having that ultimate up to really do anything at all, because apart from that, he has a stun and a bit of damage. But when you have his ultimate up, you go into a team fight, you land your ultimate on 3-4 people, and you win the team fight. It's as simple as that. So, it's very clutch, and it can work, but it's very risky at the same time.
Yeah, especially if you're up against characters like Orianna, especially characters like Shen, who will want to dive you on the back line. If you root yourself in place, and there's an Aatrox with a Shen shield jumping on you, you don't want to be rooted anymore, and that can get awkward very, very fast. However, Xerath is the king of winning a fight without even really being in it. The classic example, I think, of the kind of perfect storm for Xerath is, you see near Dragon, where actually the red pings are, you see that little tri-brush there? Xerath, if there's a fight with both teams in there, Xerath can fire his full combo into that tri-brush from the river, and that is so scary in a really clumped environment.
Funny you just called it Storm, and now I come to think about it, it kind of is like Storm from StarCraft, except it's Arcane Barrage and has no comparison at all to it, because we don't like StarCraft here at League of Legends.
Nerd! What are you doing playing video games that I don't like?
But regardless, kind of defensive formation coming out of Hegemony here. We do see some more aggression coming in from Guru. They have got that easy check with the Phosphorus Bomb. We'll expect to do that, but actually just going to use the ball instead. But they will get spotted out by this red ward if they go past it.
Yeah, and now we have an aggressive invade coming out. They're going to be sitting on top of it, and Hegemony are going to see that. Going to move into the bot jungle. And I feel like if I say Hegemony as fast as I can, then no one will notice I'm saying it wrong. So, with Zyra leading the charge into the brush, this is very risky, but I guess because, of course, they knew they were in their own jungle anyway, it doesn't really matter, and she can go as aggressive as she likes, not like the all-running teleport. And the full revive Bungaloo, where you have Zac, and he goes into a cell division passive, and you all teleport on top of him. Good times.
It is a pretty good choice of paths, but on this one, perhaps their decision-making not as good as you would like. Hegemony have not, I think, accounted for the fact they are sitting on a ward right now. This is very, very dangerous for them. There could be initiation. Alternately, though, they could, if Guru just stopped them from recalling and push that mid, they could get a really big XP advantage. It looks like they're going to go in for this.
Oh man, here comes the collapse, the flash into the dash, lands onto free, Mistral gets dropped so quickly, he's dropping low but he's not dead just as of yet. The Dark Light comes in, locks up 2, first blood picked up by Orianna, the flashes all around, another kill picked up by LT, this completely scattering the roaches, this is so bad. Double kill comes in for Corki, looking for one more kill onto Ashe. Sona with the stutter steps, brings out more auto attacks, barrier comes out and the empowered auto attacks, LT just not quite able to get the next kill. That's 3-0 with the level 1 team fight.
That's a big advantage, and 2 of those kills and the red buff went to Corki. If he ends up in a 2-on-2 situation now, this is going to be horrific for his opponent. He didn't get the full level advantage from that red buff. I guess he just killed someone who had taken it. But it was a massive windfall. And one of the things I really liked in that fight was you actually saw Aatrox back out, go all the way around. His team looked like they were overcommitted. But in their haste to chase after, Guru actually got a 3-man dart flight knockup on them.
Well, that's LT just killing another person in bot lane and bringing his scoreline to 3-0 at 3 minutes. That's a kill a minute. And LT, he's already level 2. He's almost level 3. Ashe is level 1. Have fun, Ashe.
He hasn't bought any items yet, and I'm curious to see whether he wants to do that, because he's in a situation now where he has to choose...
Top jungle. And Crow Assassin jumps onto Gizmox. Ward jumps and should be okay, but Aatrox looking to take this blue buff away. This would be another huge... another huge pickup coming in for Guru Gaming, and they just take advantage after advantage.
Indeed. So Corki there was faced with a decision between 2 really good things. He could punish Ashe really hard with his red buff that he had right then, and his level advantage he had right then, or he could go back and buy loads and loads of items with all the gold he had. It's not very common where there's not a very clear decision as to what's best, because they're all such good decisions. But regardless, LT is going to return to that bot lane with a full phage at 4 minutes.
You know, honestly, Spuddington, I would have gone for Brutalizer, but that's the wrong decision. But I would have also gone for Sheen, and I feel like a Sheen in this lane, especially with the red buff, meant that he has so much burst, Ashe would never be able to get near the minions. But Phage is also good. I mean, Phage is amazing. You had Phage and you win. That's kind of it.
The thing about Phage is it also means that if he last hits a creep and runs at them, they're not going to be able to just run away unless they are already significantly far back. It kind of extends his zone of threat significantly, and let's face it, he was already going to win any trade damage between them. Like, they weren't worried about him losing in trades, so the extra burst from Machine would be comparatively lesser, and also it means he's more resistant in gank situations.
Yeah, absolutely, and when you get a minion kill, 60 extra movement speed is quite a lot. I think Sivir passive is like 40, I want to say, and having that on Corki, I mean, they're doing some damage to Dako, they're punishing him when he's getting aggressive, but if Elsie decides to put down a Phosphorus Bomb onto Ashe, there's like nothing she can do about it. And now under tower, it's not like he has a bleed anymore from red buff, so he can just keep up the pressure. She's trying to farm, he does some damage to Ashe. In fact, he's going after the objective of the tower first. Now, okay, there's the damage onto Ashe.
Remember, Ashe does still have that extended auto-attack range that will give her a little bit of a capacity to farm out of Corki's harassment range under tower. And at the moment, Zyra is also doing a pretty good job of keeping the aggression at bay. And it's worth noting that the gold advantage Corki has is very significant and will remain significant, but it is no longer as cataclysmically huge as it was before.
Yeah, in the top lane, the Lissandra's kind of getting punted around as well. Now in the jungle, Gizmox just can't even deal with Aatrox. Like, he's trying, but Lee Sin, when you're behind and you're being counter-jungled, that's one of the worst positions to be in. Pro Assassin still waiting in the brush, lands the Sonic Wave, Dark Light comes out, auto-attacks into Blaze of Torment. Won't be able to pick up the kill here, but at least push him out of his jungle. And Zemano Rex also moving there as well. It's just becoming incredibly hard for Hegemony even to get back into this game, because they've gone through a very Lee Sin you expect Lee Sin or the team of Lee Sin to snowball in the early game, otherwise he just becomes a CC bot, and he does that anyway, but you need to utilize Lee Sin's great early game,
or it's really not worth taking him. Gatling gun and some aggression in the bot lane, just taking off half health from Ashe there, and right now Lissandra needs to get out of dodge. Aatrox is behind, he's got that blood well.
Yeah, and there's no way he's going to die from this. He might not even drop the passive. Nope, the last tower shot does not come in. He picks up a very surgically clean kill. Gizmox moves into the top lane. This is probably the best he could really hope for, but he might be picked up as well. He still has the blood well passive. He can afford to be very aggressive. They probably assumed he's gone back. If Jesper can kind of bait this one out, have Gizmox follow up, that might have been Crow Assassin's chance, but no real need to go all in. He might even wait until the minions push up the turret, but if he waits any longer, Lissandra will be back in. Nope, they just synchronize recall.
Yeah, plus they have that teleport coming up on Lissandra soon, so maybe they are kind of stymieing their aggression just because of that. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, which didn't actually really have a huge influence from that level 1 fight directly, there's still a serious advantage in the favor of Orianna, which is not what I'd expect against Xerath. Corki goes aggressive.
Yeah, Valkyrie comes across, and you've got the Stand United coming in from Shen. Tower shots come out. They don't go all in. Ignite, will it be enough? No, it will not. 14 HP remaining.
Narrow, but I feel they honestly deserve a windfall at this point. That team is just not having fun. And then Xerath being pushed back, worth noting, is going to have a lot of difficulty doing his, really big burst thing against Orianna directly, first of all, and at all if he gets too far behind.
Yeah, now they're moving on to the dragon, and it doesn't look like there's any recourse from Hegemony. They can't go onto dragon, they can't go for trades, they can't team fight, and they can't skirmish. They can farm, and that's pretty much it. They have gone for a double AP composition, in fact very bursty AP casters, so in the mid game it could be their time to shine. But if they lose that power spike, if they don't make anything of their great initiation and then the damage from their AP casters, then late game it's almost worthless and Guru Gaming will scale up again.
Yeah, well it's kind of one of those things where they were already kind of relying on that power spike in mid game to either get them really big advantages or to carry them through until Ashe started scaling up, because she will outscale Corki in the super long run, but it's going to take a long time for that to happen. Actually, there's a lot of burst in the mid.
Yeah, and huge damage comes out, Shockwave as well, but Xerath still looking for this kill. Teleport coming in, and now Aatrox gets the Blades of Torment, looking for the last auto attack, locks him down. Another Glacial Path into Frozen Tomb, he will be falling into his blood well. And now is the time not for you to be going too aggressive, as Xerath picks up the kill very cleanly. It's a 2-0 trade.
Yeah, really nice timing on that aggression from Xerath. Knew he wouldn't be able to kill Orianna through that barrier, and she thought she had baited him, meant she tried to turn it around, got baited into the aggression from the jungler, and then you had the Lissandra teleport there when Aatrox came in. It was a really, really nice sequence of events, and it pulls back a little bit of an advantage there.
Yeah, they picked up 2 kills, at least they're not, if the game isn't completely falling through their fingers, which is good. So we're not getting into that snowball stage just as of yet. But Corki, still being 3-0-1, has finally picked up the Sheen along with Phage, and is well on his way to Trinity Force. I could definitely see him picking that up probably at about 20 minutes. He's farming very well, he's got the kills, and Ashe can't shut him down. They'll progress into the mid lane very well, and Shen can carry on pushing top because Lissandra isn't pushing him in, meaning that next objective in the form of Dragon, they can just go for a team fight or take another objective for free. I would query how well they're going to be at sieging, because they have very good anti-siege in the form of Xerath's Q, even his ultimate if he chooses to use it, and Lissandra with her combo.
Well, when they're in this kind of situation where they've got really, really strong poke from Corki and burst as a team in general, whilst they're a long way ahead, they have a lot of potential to just catch one person out and just give them under the tower. Imagine, for instance, that you've got an Ashe that moves a little bit too far forward, gets caught in the shockwave, gets caught in the dissonance, gets the Corki follow-up, the crescendo, the taunt, the dark flight, all that stuff, that can chain off of 1 CC under a tower. So in a siege situation, maybe they need to be a little bit more careful because of the counter engage, but they have a lot of potential to just give you.
Yeah, not only that, they will look to be very tanky. Shen is also ramping up in strength, and so is Aatrox, and plus they have the Bloodwell passive, so they also have that. But you have to look at their CC. Lissandra with, of course, the Frozen Tomb alongside the Ring of Frost. And then also with Lee Sin, he could knock someone really into kind of no man's land, the worst territory to be in. So they have the potential to lock them under turret, especially with Stranglethorns. Again, Crescendo comes across, Flash comes down, Enchanted Crystal Arrow, they really need this kill onto Corki. Dako is still there, Ignite lands, and LT is just more concerned with farming as Dako gets chased down. In fact, they're just going to back on up, but Crow Assassin has been revealed by that ward, and they don't go for the all-in. But that's actually a very nice trade from Hegemony's bot lane.
Yeah, and it shows the power of Zyra Ashe. That's why people keep picking it all the time. Gamster actually in this top lane could be in trouble.
Yeah, Dako takes some more hits in the bot lane though. Ashe is still following after. It's not quite enough to finish him off. Now, in fact, the bot lane, LT picks up the kill onto Zyra. Ashe is still following up. Now jumping into the top lane, Vorpal Blade picks up the kill onto Lissandra. So kills going down all over the map. But that's 2-0 overall for at least Guru Gaming.
I think Crow Assassin might be going in here. He's got the
He wants it, and Massacre comes in. And, as you said, the Shen coming in, and he, in fact, drops in the process. But the assist will make it worth it. And plus, there's no way they can stop this tower siege.
Yeah, so what Hegemony right now are just kind of trying desperately to avoid this game snowballing against them. They need to slow the pace down. They need to prevent this game from going at the current speed it is, because they just do not have the means to fight right now. Xerath, yes, he is capable of stalling, but it's going to be a case of probably trying to freeze that bottom lane, actually burst in the mid.
Arcane Barrage, I should say. Man, it's been a long time since I've casted Xerath. Top lane drops to Lee Sin, and yeah, Arcane Barrage. I almost wanted to call it Storm as well from what you said earlier.
Yeah, the Arcane Tempestuous Storm of Greater Lightning. It's stuff. There are weapons. He has sharp things, but regardless, yeah. That's actually really, really good, though, from Hegemony there. They've taken a tower in return with that top. They will be able to kind of slow down that aggression. Orianna not being there is a big linchpin in the team fight, big linchpin in the aggression, and that means that Ashe can afford to play a slightly more defensive game in that bot lane. Doesn't need to push out as fast in order to get back to that mid lane. That's going to be giving her that little bit of extra gold. So, yes, it's a good little windfall again. And it kind of put the gold total back into reasonable amounts between the two teams, but we've got to be careful of this next dragon spawning in about 20 seconds.
Yeah, and we're looking towards Guru to just go for it. They have no reason not to be aggressive, no reason to start instigating these fights in these scenarios where they'll inevitably be stronger unless they're outplayed. Daku lands a perfect crescendo. Does he have the follow-up though? The flash comes in, and Mystriel off to the side. More damage coming in for Zera. Doesn't land the entire combo, and now the teleport from the Sandra has left top lane open and exposed, but they will be opening up onto the dragon. I'm not sure if this is the right call. If it works out for them, they should be good to go. They didn't have the crescendo. Looks like Guru are going to completely, well, concede this dragon. Interesting.
Yeah, a little bit unusual, but they did not have the Stand United available. They didn't want to engage in a 5-on-4, but the Ash Arrow may force it.
Yeah, lands onto Crow Assassin to follow now into Bloodwell. Glacial Path comes across. Gamster looking for the next kill. And Dragon's Raid insects him backwards. Another auto attack. Massive Orianna ultimate lands, but it's not going to be enough to pick up the kill onto any of the members of Hegemony. And now, Aatrox moving into the top lane. He wasn't actually the one who died in the end. It was, in fact, Orianna. 1 for 0 trade and the dragon. Best outcome that they could possibly hope for.
This team baiting me, says Aatrox. I mean, no, says Orianna. But regardless, Gamster actually made a pretty solid call there. He teleported down trying to kind of capitalize on that fight we saw with the crescendo started, and the Guru just backed out away from it, but in the end they were able to make stuff happen thanks to the power of the Ash Arrow and the power of the Zerath Burst. Worked out very well for them, and Shen, as we've mentioned before, is a very slow wave clearer, did not have yet his Sunfire cape because he was rushing a Spirit Visage, so he was not able to push down that top tower, and that's put Hegemony very much back in this game. Corki's still a huge threat, but honestly, they're kind of getting the momentum going.
Yeah, and it's not only that, but their mid game is kind of their time to shine in the sense that they hit a huge power spike in their champions. So they'll have the initiate from Ashe, then they'll have the follow-up from the AP casters, and then Lee Sin will be able to nuke down anyone he pleases. He'll be able to go for the picks. He'll have the insect available to him. So from Guru Gaming's perspective, they may have just let Hegemony take too much ground to the point where they might need to play a little bit more defensive. And Lee Sin finds himself Aatrox in the jungle, places on the ward, steals away a couple wraiths, picks up a good 12 gold away from him. And now they're sieging down the mid lane. Ash Arrow comes across. Glacial Path doesn't choose to follow up. But Hegemony well on the front lines. Dako gets completely deleted. In return, Orianna puts down the shockwave. It's not enough to pick up the kill on to Zerath, and Gizmox just around the side to make sure they don't go for any more aggression.
Yeah, we'll give Shen that opportunity for top lane though, so maybe not worth it in the long run. But regardless, Cat, no, please. Sorry, take over a second.
Yeah, Swillington is currently being attacked by his cat, so in the top lane, again, Shen is gradually pushing down this turret. He will pick it up right now, in fact. 3-0-1, he's doing very well in his own right, and then, in fact, they're sending Zerath up there. Okay, so they can send either one of these AP casters because they have so much wave play regardless.
Yeah, that's the thing. So long as Shen is a slow clearer of that top lane, they will have a lot of opportunities, but the window will grow shorter and shorter as the game goes on and Shen gets stronger and stronger at clearing. It will also especially spike downwards the window they will have when he gets that Sunfire Cape. As you would expect, he will just clear it away. He does have that ultimate up now though, so he will just continue to apply that pressure. The Sandra teleport not up for a significant amount of time, but with that picking potential of Hegemony, you've got to be so careful on Guru's team.
Yeah, if they put a foot wrong, we were saying this before, in fact, in favor of Guru Gaming before, but now Hegemony in the driver's seat, they can go for a pick. I wouldn't say they're necessarily ahead, they're 2k behind, but honestly, in terms of team fights, I do rate their team fight a lot higher than Guru Gaming. The main reason why we thought we were going to lose in the initial early game was because they were so far behind that they wouldn't have the damage, but now they're in really good shape, and they're actually pushing Guru Gaming back.
Plus the fact that Corki is a big target means they have just one person to lock down and nuke, and by God do they have the means to nuke someone. They've got so much CC on a single target and burst that Corki's being really fed may not actually work out so well for him. He, personally at least, will get focused down very hard. That does mean though that cleanse is going to come in extremely useful.
It will indeed. It won't get him out of... I don't think it'll get him out of Frozen Tomb, or will it? Because it's a stun, but it's also a weird thing.
I think it does. Pretty sure that it's actually just a vanilla stun.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, because it has that extra components, and sometimes things with extra components, Cleanse has a weird interaction with them. But either way...
it might not cleanse the movement speed slow, because I think that reapplies so long as you're on the Dark Ice. I'm not sure.
Right. Yeah, it's kind of interesting because Cleanse does very weird things, and a lot like Quicksilver Slash as well. Arcane Barrage comes down, just clears out the minions, and does as much as he can, but as I said, their anti-siege is incredibly good, even if they don't have Lysandra there, because Lysandra's tied up at top lane stopping Jesper, slowly pushing. In the mid lane, they'll just have Xerath, and that's all we really needed. Now he can back off, and he can walk back into the mid, but Guru just can't push.
Yeah, the wave clear on Hegemony is just so good. They've got Zyra for support, which people underestimate as wave clear. She was made to be an AP caster. She's got very, very solid wave clear. They've got the volley wave clear, which is very, very good as well. If Lysandra is there, she's solid, but if not, she's very good at dealing with that top wave. So like you say, they are just capable of stalling out nearly indefinitely, unless Jesper or Crow Assassin can get tanky enough to start diving 4-on-5. But it's going to take a long time before they feel comfortable doing that, even on outer towers. And at the moment, it's just given that Hegemony, a good chance to catch up.
It's time for Ohmwrecker. Honestly, in this situation, Spuddington, I wouldn't see that as a terrible pickup. Because it would allow them to go for tower dives. It would be hilarious and it wouldn't really work, but it would be interesting to see. But their major problem right now is they're not strong enough where they could 5-on-5 them. Hegemony don't really need to go for a team fight, but they kind of want to at the same time. So Guru can't be aggressive, Drake is up. I think now is going to be very revealing for the next couple minutes at least, because Guru Gaming will want to fight this. Hegemony want to fight this because they've hit the power spike. And then if Hegemony win, then they can carry on being aggressive, then they can start sieging towers by themselves. Or if Guru Gaming win, then it might make them strong enough where they can make more objectives outside of Dragon. But again, I'm not even sure if that will be enough. They're actually pushing down mid lane right now.
Yeah, that's the kind of standard counterplay to a Dragon Dance. You then just switch around, go straight for that mid tower, and if there's no one there to stop it, they might well be able to take it, but he might be overstaying here.
Ashara comes in, along with the Stranglethorns, knocks up 2, and Gizmox around the sides, the flash and dash comes in, lands onto 1, Ash up back at the turret, and Hegemony have lost 1 member of their team in the form of Zyra. And however, Jesper and Crow Assassin are very low. In fact, they're moving themselves towards Dragon. I'm not convinced that Hegemony would lose a fight if they went for it, even in this state of 4 versus 5. They're going to go on to it. What, sorry?
Gamster has TP. Look,
Oh,
Lysandra.
and Insect comes in, looking for the kill onto Orianna. Meanwhile, we have the teleport now coming in from Gamster. Shutdown comes in for Xerath. Meanwhile, Crow Assassin looks to back off along with LT. They're splitting paths, but they have been massively slowed by the Blades of Torment. Lee Sin looks for the follow with the ward jump. Doesn't land the Q and has to back off. Now with Xerath there, they should shortly pick up the kill. Yep, Mage Change comes out and picks up the kill. But 3-in-1 trade. I'm not sure, which way did the Dragon go?
The Dragon went to Guru here. So probably in terms of gold, that didn't really make that big of a difference. But the key thing here, I think, is that the teleport is now down on Gamster. So he is not going to be able to react when Shen starts that split pushing as he would like to. That most likely will mean Hegemony will play very, very defensively until that teleport comes back up, which is not going to be for a very long time. And that may mean that this game slows down again. But that will push the game a little bit further towards that kind of fall-off point for the AP casters. Although, because they have such good synergy, I'm tempted to say their late game is actually stronger.
Yeah, I would also go for that as well. Gamster pushing down the bot lane. It's a very close game, but when we look towards like the latter parts of this game, regardless, then they should get stronger. Jesper, he's in the worst possible situation. CC lands. Follow up as well, Mage Change comes out, Arcane Barrage, he's actually soaking up so much damage. The tower actually shuts down 1 along with the help of LT. 1-for-1 trade, but the tower also drops in favour of Hegemony. Now with Dako to the top side, can they collapse on them in time? Looks like the answer is a resounding no.
Yeah, they're going to back out. They just used a ton of teamfight ultimates. And I got to say, I think a large proportion of why Shen lasted so long there was that Killua on that Xerath did not use his Locus of Power. And remember, that gives him, at the moment, 16% magic penetration for free. Shen has built quite a bit of magic resist, Merc Treads and the Spirit Visage. He did not take advantage of that, and it will give that little bit of an opening now, because Jesper can clear top and teleport in if necessary for Guru to push this tower.
Yeah, and Guru have gone for the initiate. There's the wombo combo, shuts down one. They look for the second. They're dropping like flies. Now push them back. Gizmox has to completely retreat behind his inner turret. Now Crow Assassin's still right there. That was such a great initiation. The ball delivery system, and also the fact they knew all those big ultimates were down.
Yeah, and it was a very good timing call because of it. They just took advantage of, as you mentioned, all those ultimates being down, because Hegemony's teamfight is so dependent on their ultimates. I mean, look at Xerath. Very little burst without it, and in fact is now trying for LT, but he's not going to be able to take that down. Lissandra's Frozen Tube, so critical to the way she works, especially when she doesn't have a Zhonya's Hourglass. When, you know, it's just a really, really, really good timing call. Does mean that top tower is going to take a little bit of damage, but I think that's a trade they'll make. However, Hegemony just pinged Baron and they pinged that tower. They know someone's going to react.
Yeah, they know everyone's going to be recalling from Guru Gaming, and there's no reason for them not to. But can they take it down in time? That's the question. I mean, Lee Sin, Shen is already heading up into the top lane. They don't have it warded, but they must have clicked. They must have seen them transition, or at least one member clip them by a ward. No one's pinged, but I think Shen knows something's up. Yep, he's heading towards the Baron area. They're chucking down very quickly. It's about 60% HP. Wood comes out. He's noticed the team. He's very tanky. We've seen this from the tower dive at bot lane. This could be disastrous for Hegemony. They split up, but Ash gets deleted immediately. Now with Gizmox, he gets knocked up. Another kill comes out. And Guru could very easily pick up the Baron themselves. But with Xerath over the wall, he has the ultimate. This could be very nasty. 2 AP casters, and he will be taking extra damage because of the Baron debuff. This could get so messy. Gamster over the wall. When did they choose to go for the initiate? As Dragonforce comes out, now the ultimate. Orianna picks up the kill onto Baron. Elsie's jumped over the wall. They have the engagement. Darkflight as well. Gamster gets out of dodge using Glacial Path, and it wasn't quite enough. And now they force them back. No kills go down, but the Baron picked up by Guru Gaming.
I don't understand Hegemony there. They could easily, like, they either should have backed away entirely and surrendered the Baron for dead and not risked being engaged on over the wall, or they should have gone all in, relied on that magic damage and relied on that magic damage debuff from Baron. But they just didn't. They got the worst of both worlds as a result. They could maybe look for an engage, but they've still got none of those ultimates back up, and it's just a real problem. Xerath ultimate is so good in those Baron pits, though.
Yeah, we were both expecting it. We were like, oh god, 2 AP casters, the damage amplification from Baron. This could be horrible, but now they go for the initiation of Flash and Dash. Doesn't quite connect. Looks for the mage change, will land onto Jesper. Not quite the person they're looking for, but the Flash has come down. And now the dog flight onto Gamster. He's looking to back off. There's the Flash and Dash. Lands onto Xerath, already into Zhonya's. They're just getting completely shredded. They can't get any sort of teamfight coherency and no team cohesion. 2 kills picked up. This should be another inhibitor. And Guru Gaming just coming out of nowhere.
Yeah, they just suddenly taken a big advantage from that Baron call. They lost kills, they lost map pressure, they lost Baron itself, and that's just meant that Guru have been able to regain all that momentum they had at the level 1 fight. And, well, Hegemony now have a long road if they want to even vaguely come back into this, but it's looking really seriously grim, and if this inhib drops, you can say pretty much gonna be go.
Yeah, like when 3 inhibitors are down and you're not even pushing into their base, then you know something's up. And Crow Assassin is so tanky. Now we have the initiation. I'm not even sure if Lee Sin wants to end second backwards because he's already on his back line. He locks up free with Dark Flight, in with the ultimate from Orianna. Now, Xerath just can't do anything until he backs on off, coming out from Locust of Power. LT takes some hits, but it's honestly nothing. Jesper looks for the tower dive under both of these Nexus turrets. They're looking to finish the game right now. With Crowcam, he's looking to do some damage. It's not even close. LT, if he wasn't looked up by a fantastic grasping roots from Zyra, that would have been an easy double kill. Then moving on to the second Nexus turret. Jesper is unbelievably tanky. This will actually be quite tight though. And huge ultimate once again. Shockwave lands into the face of Xerath, and that's the GG well played being called.
Yeah, a game that was much, much closer than its final score and its final goal total would suggest. Hegemony had, they were pulling themselves back in really effectively, and I thought they were actually kind of my favorite to win that game. But then that Baron call, yes, their opponents did not have any vision. They did not spot them on the way, but they were too slow at clearing it. They did not have the sustained damage. They were too bursty, and they got caught, they got split, then they lost the Baron, then they lost important characters after the Baron had already been stolen. It was so unfortunate for them, but regardless, commiserations to them. I do believe that Guru will be moving on to the next round if there is one. I have absolutely no idea as to the tournament structure.
No, I don't think anyone does, because there's no bracket. So we'll be looking at the other stream and seeing if AirKTV know what's going on. But until then, guys, we'll be back shortly.